because it's so gross. This is how you make your makeup set for hours. The Hadiding of it all. And you could see my entire ass once I got it from the chair. And then it's almost like reverse contouring. She's balding over here. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Alexis Oakley and I'm a celebrity makeup artist based in Los Angeles. And today I'm gonna be spilling all the tips, tricks, and industry secrets that Hollywood has been gatekeeping for years. These are makeup artist secrets that nobody wants you to know, and I've discovered them either through assisting, being on set, or just my own experience. Today, I'm here to break down the wall and spill the tea because nobody else in Hollywood will. Before we get into today's video, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell so that you never miss any of my videos. How to properly clean your brushes. So I have a few different products that I like to use whenever I'm cleaning my brushes. If I'm doing a deep clean, I like to use either the Beauty Blender Solid Black Charcoal Cleanser or Dawn Dish Soap. This is really great because it really helps to cut down the oils and the grease that sometimes gets formed on your makeup brushes or your beauty blenders. And then I also love the Beauty Blender Solid Charcoal Cleanser. Both of these are really great options. So how you use the charcoal cleanser is you just want to get your beauty blender wet. You literally just want to swirl it around in this cleaner. And as you can see, all of the makeup and buildup left behind on this beauty blender is really coming off. And then you just kind of squeeze all of that product out. And then you can just repeat this process as many times as you need to until whenever you squeeze it, the water is clear. So then if you're going to use the Dawn Dish Soap, keep in mind a little bit goes a long way. Whenever I first started doing this, I would just pour the soap on and then you have suds in your beauty blender, and whenever you squeeze it you almost feel all the suds in there as well. Whenever you're cleaning them with the Dawn Dish Soap, you really have to squeeze your beauty blender quite a few times underneath the water till you get all of those suds out. I feel like with the beauty blender cleaner you don't have to do that as much because it's pretty easy to get out on its own. So then whenever I'm deep cleaning my brushes, I'm basically going to do the exact same thing with both of these products. You first just want to start off by getting your brush wet, and then you want to take your beauty blender cleaner or your Dawn Dish Soap and really swirl the brush around into the cleaner so you get a good amount of product onto your brush. Then once you have your cleaner on whichever product you want to use, you're just going to begin to swirl it around into your hand or onto, they make these silicone pads that you can also swirl it around with if you don't want to use your hands. And then once you've really rubbed it around either on your hand or on the silicone pad, you're going to start to see all of the makeup come out. And then once you've done that for a little bit, you're slowly going to start to squeeze the bristles on the brush and the water is going to slowly begin to run clear and there's going to be no suds left over in your brush. Once you've just gotten all of the makeup and leftover product out of your brush and the water is starting to run clear, then you just want to reshape it with your hands. Once you've reshaped it with your hands how it's supposed to look, you always want to lay your brushes flat to dry on a towel. If you let them stand up while they dry, all of that water is just going to soak down into the base and it's going to eventually break up the glue that's holding your brush together. So if you're letting them dry standing up, a lot of times the bristles of your brush are going to fall out, or sometimes the brush itself will come off of the handle. So you always want to make sure that you're taking proper care of your brushes so that they have the longevity that they're supposed to have and that they can last as long, because brushes are an investment. I have had some brushes that I literally bought in 7th grade when I first began to love makeup that I still use in my kit today. If you take proper care of your brushes, they can last you your entire life. So whenever I'm doing just a quick clean in between clients, I don't have time to get them wet because otherwise they're just not going to be dry by the time I need to do someone else's makeup. This is the Cinema Secrets brush cleaner that we're going to be using. This is my favorite brush cleaner of all time. I think that it cleans the brushes amazing and I just like the smell of it as well. This is what they taught us to use in makeup school and I've been using it pretty much ever since, and a lot of other makeup artists use this cleaner as well. It has multiple different sizes. It has this size, which is the biggest size, which this is really great for pro makeup artists, and then this is really great for, I feel like, the everyday consumer of makeup. I like to use this size in my kit, and then this size is just what we keep at the house for back stock, and then we can replenish this little bottle as well. And I also like this because it has a spray on top and I think that it makes it a little bit easier. So all I do is I take a brush, spray some of the cleaner onto the brush directly, swirl it around on the paper towel. This has a really nice quick dry formula. It dries pretty much instantly, so you just wipe it around on the paper towel and then you can reshape it again and it's good to go. A question that I get asked all the time is how often should you really be cleaning your brushes? And more often than you would think. I can promise you that with my brushes in my kit, we clean them in between every single client. If you're a makeup artist and you're not cleaning your brushes in between every single client, girl, we need to talk. That is the biggest no-no. I don't care how tired you are at the end of the day, you clean your brushes before you get to work. That is disgusting, and that is the #1 way to spread germs and COVID and literally anything. Also, whenever your client's sitting there, they have nothing else to really do besides sit there, look at your products, look at your brushes, see how clean your kit is and everything. And if they see dirty brushes in there, you are never gonna get called back ever again. That is so gross, and that is just the #1 way to get canceled as a makeup artist. For the everyday person, I probably suggest cleaning your brushes every 2 to 3 weeks. 3 weeks, absolute max. My own personal brushes, I don't clean them, Ellen cleans them, but she cleans them usually about once a week, you can notice when it's time to clean your brushes. If your makeup starts applying cakey or streaky, then it's time to clean those brushes. A lot of times the product buildup can really affect the way that your makeup performs and the way that it sits on your face. I notice for myself, sometimes I'll be lazy, Ellen's not around, I don't want to clean my brushes, and I'll start to apply makeup and it just becomes patchy and separated throughout the day, and I'll clean my brushes and then everything works perfectly the next day. I will say with beauty blenders, I do think that you need to clean beauty blenders in between every use. You'll notice such a huge difference in the way that your makeup applies. Obviously, you want to do your makeup with a wet beauty blender always, and if you don't know that, now you know. Never do your makeup with a dry beauty blender. I'm telling you, you will notice such a big difference in the way that your makeup applies to your face, and it's gonna give such a flawless finish. But while you're getting your beauty blender wet, just give it a quick little clean. One of the biggest Hollywood kept secrets, and I honestly cannot believe I'm saying this out loud. I've never done this, okay? I like don't even want to say it because it's so gross and you guys are gonna be like, there's no fucking way. I am telling you, whenever it comes to a lot of old school professional makeup artists, they use this trick, and the trick is that you use hemorrhoid cream as eye cream. Like I said, I've never done it, but I have seen makeup artists do it whenever I'm assisting them. Which what this product does is it temporarily constricts your blood vessels to tighten the skin and basically diminish the appearance of wrinkles. Now be careful if you try this at home because I'm sure it's not the best for your skin. You know, I'm sure it's one thing if you do it occasionally or if you're going to a special event or something like that. I'm not a doctor, but I don't suggest doing this every day at least. If you were gonna try this out though, basically what you wanna do is get a tiny bit of the hemorrhoid cream, place it under your eyes, let it dry fully, and then go in with your makeup products, your concealer, your powder, everything like that. And it does work, I'm not gonna lie. The people that I have seen do this, it really does diminish the appearance of wrinkles and it almost looks like they got under eye filler because it helps to reduce any inflammation and puffiness as well. So it's really just gonna give you a beautiful, nice and flat canvas. Like I said, I've never tried it. I don't necessarily recommend doing it, but that is a huge Hollywood makeup artist kept secret. Next up is shaving your face. Now, I promise this isn't as scary as how it sounds. I'm not like taking my razor from the shower and shaving my face as if I'm shaving off my beard or my mustache or anything, okay? I just use this little tiny razor. You can get these at CVS, Target, any drugstore, anything like that, and I literally just take this and I always want to work my way down. And a question that I get asked about shaving my face a lot is, does your hair grow back thicker or darker or more coarse? And I personally haven't seen anything like that happen, but the reason why I love shaving my face so much, and I really suggest it to all of my clients, is it's gonna make your makeup go on so much more smooth. Like, it gives you the most perfect canvas. You don't even realize how the peach fuzz on your face is affecting how your makeup looks and performs throughout the day. So whenever I'm doing this, I always just start off with a clean face. A lot of times I'll make sure that I put oil or a moisturizer on my face. That way I don't get any razor burn or little bumps. And then once you have your oil or your moisturizer or just anything for your razor to glide on easily, you always just want to work your way down. And I just start section by section. So I'll just kind of start here and I'll work in this section and then I'll work my way over, and I'll just keep doing this all over. I don't really do my forehead. Sometimes I went through a phase where I was shaving off the tail of my eyebrow and my eyebrow girl got really mad at me. I will say, if you shave your eyebrows, your brows don't grow back as full as they once were. That is something that I had to learn the hard way. My brows used to be really elongated and then I started shaving them. I think that's just what happens with your brows. I feel like if you overpluck your brows or anything, they just kind of quit growing. So that's kind of what happened to the tails of my brows, but whatever, it is what it is. I mainly just do my cheeks, my chin, my little mustache, on my nose, everything like that. This is also really gonna help to remove any dead skin and kind of exfoliate your skin as well. You would be shocked at how many celebrities and how many people shave their face. There's even been instances with my clients where they've had a lot of peach fuzz around their jawline and they just don't know that they should be shaving their face, and they're gonna get a way more flawless, beautiful makeup application. And so obviously if I'm really close with the person, I don't do this with everyone, but if I'm really close with them and I feel comfortable being like, hey, have you ever tried this? Most of the time they're like, wait, no, should I try it immediately? Like, do you have a razor? Let me try. And then I'll end up shaving their face and they'll notice such a difference, and then they do it all the time now. I am telling you, it's such a game changer, and once you start, you will never look back. Next up, I'm gonna show you guys a few different methods to set your makeup and literally make it last all night long. I've been using both of these methods on Tana for years, and as you guys know, you've seen her talk about this in podcasts and interviews, different things. She can make the Alexis Oakley beat last for, I think, a week. She has literally created a formula for it, and if you guys haven't watched my makeup tutorial that I did with her back in December, she fully talks about it there. I'll insert the clip right now so you guys can see what I'm talking about if you haven't seen that.
Really get it on there for days. You wear the bead, you sleep super light, like on your ear. You wake up, you wear the entire bead again. Yep. Whole face, whole thing, just touch up the lip, call it a fucking day. Next day, you now have to move on to touching up the face. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Under eye concealer, touching up the eye a little bit, whatever. You wear that for a day. Next day, you can keep the face, but I don't recommend it. I think on that day.
I like how there's like a system. There's a method.
On that day, you take a makeup wipe and you wipe everything but the eyes. So you leave the eye look and the eyebrow. Then you do your own face makeup with it. Then, next day, you can keep going. You can wipe the face again and you can get the eye again. Now it's just a trace and go.
So a lot of people come to me and they're like, why is my makeup looking cakey or dry or separating throughout the day? And a lot of times that comes down to number one, the way you're prepping your skin before you do your makeup. But number two, the way that you're setting it. So here's how I like to set makeup. And I find that this makes makeup last literally all day long. There's literally been clients that'll do their makeup at 5 in the morning and they have to make that shit last till an event that they're going to at like midnight. Why are you taking a bath behind me right now? So another old school celebrity makeup artist hack, this goes way, way, way back, is to set your makeup using a powder puff. So there's a few different powder puff options that you can use. This one is from Laura Mercier and this is a reusable puff. It has this little band right here where you can put your fingers in, and I really love using this type of puff whenever I'm doing someone's lips or eyebrows or something like that. After I've done all of their foundation, I don't want to put my hands onto their face and rub off that part. Whenever I'm applying someone's lipstick, I almost use my pinky finger to level out my hand so that I can create a nice smooth application. So I'll almost place my pinky finger right there while I'm applying their lipstick, and I don't want to mess up their foundation after I've done this beautiful makeup on them. So I'll put the powder puff in between my pinky and then I'll use the puff to rest onto their face while I apply the makeup. You could use this puff to set your makeup as well, but please make sure that you're cleaning this in between uses, because this is just like your beauty blenders, your brushes, anything. You always want to make sure that you're cleaning it because a lot of bacteria can build up on these. Or you can get disposable puffs like these ones, which are my personal favorite. I like to use the smaller ones. You could use these bigger ones, but I feel like I just get a lot more control with the smaller one. I'm just gonna do a little demonstration on how I would use this. I'm just gonna be using my Pat McGrath powder right now. I love these powders so much. They're so good. I always just like to get a little bit of the powder into the cap because I feel like it's a lot more sanitary that way. And then I'm just gonna take my little powder puff, hold it like a little taco. That way, again, I have more control over the product and can really be more detailed with where I'm placing it. And then I just pick up some lightly. And then as you can see, there's quite a bit of product onto my puff now. And if we go straight in with that, it's just gonna settle, look really cakey, so we don't want that. So I always just take the back of my hand and lightly press it into my hand, and that's just gonna remove some of the excess, as you can see. And then I'll take what's left over on the puff and I just gently roll it and press that powder into my skin, and this is just gonna create the most flawless filtered application ever. I'm telling you, this is how you make your makeup set for hours. There's something about the way a puff just truly locks in all of that makeup. I specifically like to use this method whenever I'm setting the under eyes, around the nose area, the T-zone, the forehead, and the chin. And then usually whenever I'm setting this area right here, I'll dip my beauty blender into the powder and then I'll cut it right under the contour so it just looks a little bit more chiseled and snatched. So then once you've went ahead and set your makeup with the powder, let's move on to setting sprays. Recently, my favorite setting spray has been this one for Makeup Forever, and it is the Mist and Fix. This has a 12-hour hold. Now, there's also something that you need to know about setting sprays really quickly. Not every setting spray is meant to make your makeup last all day. Some setting sprays are meant to just refresh and give a nice dewy finish, whereas other setting sprays are more transfer resistant and really help to make your makeup last all day without budging. Some of my favorite refreshing setting sprays would be the Evian Water, Charlotte Tilbury, or the Peach and Lily. And then some of my favorite setting sprays that really help to lock the makeup, there's gonna be no movement, no transfers, like you could literally like be all up on someone and your makeup will last, would be the Makeup Forever, the Urban Decay All Nighter. That one is like tried and true, holy grail. Love that product to death. Hate the smell of it, but love it so much. And then there's also another one by Krylon, which is really, really bomb, and your makeup is not gonna move whatsoever. Like you could literally swim in that setting spray, but it's not the best for your skin. And that's one thing to know about setting sprays, is they aren't great for your skin because they can clog your pores. Keep that in mind. I like setting sprays, but I don't always use them because I don't always want to ruin the integrity of a client's skin. So how to use this? And you might be like, bitch, we already know how to use this. All you do is spray it on your face. Well, I'm gonna show you a way to elevate it. One of my biggest pet peeves is when setting spray gets into my hair. One little trick that I learned being on set and working around hairstylists actually, which I'm not gonna do this right now because I'm lazy, but if you take tissues, put them right here and then get those little creaseless clips and clip the tissues on, that way you don't get it in your hair whatsoever. Because I am telling you, if you work in this industry and you're a makeup artist, if you really want to piss off a hairstylist, spray setting spray onto the client's faces at the end and don't do anything like that, and then it's just gonna get in the hair, and ooh girl, the hairstylist is gonna be so mad at you. Whenever I first started, I didn't realize that was like a big no-no, and I would spray my client's face with setting spray, and then right here would get wet. And sometimes whenever the fronts of your hair get wet, if the client naturally has a wave in their hair, those are instantly gonna wave up. If you're working on set and you're a makeup artist and about to spray your client's face, always just check in with the hairstylist and be like, hey, I'm gonna spray their face really quick, do you mind? And most of the time they'll come behind the client and hold their hands right here at least, or put tissues there or something. That way it doesn't mess up their hair whatsoever. And you guys wanna have respect for each other. You know, you wouldn't want them to like take their hands and mess with the client's makeup either. You just have to help each other out and look out for each other like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spray my face. And then I take my beauty blender and press the setting spray into my skin. And this basically just melts it into the makeup, and it's also just really gonna help to lock it in. And if you really wanna lock in that makeup, you can literally take your setting spray and spray it onto your beauty blender as well. And then you just wanna really gently tap this in. And you always wanna make sure you're going straight in with a tapping method and not rubbing, because otherwise that's just gonna ruin your makeup. Now for the hadiding of it all. If you really want that cat eye snatched effect specifically on your eyes, face tapes, these literally give you a facelift in 5 minutes. It's amazing. These are just gonna give you the most snatched eye ever. This is what they look like, and as you can see, it's this little plastic tape piece, and then it has this elastic right here, and then a little clip at the back. If you were gonna do your eyes, you would use 2 of these, and then you would basically tape the plastic right here. You would pull the elastic to the back, and then you would let these both meet at the back of your head under your hair, and then you would clip them under your hair, and then they would literally just hold your eyes up like that. Now, if you're using these, the tapes do not stay on their own. They have a little bit of stickiness, but they don't have enough grip to truly hold and snatch you for a long period of time. So you want to use a glue called Prozade, and this stuff is very intense and very sticky and makes a mess, and you want to be very careful whenever you're applying this. I'm not going to do it right now because I have my makeup all done, but what you would want to do is you take a little bit of alcohol, clean the area first where you're going to be applying this, then take some of your Prozade on a Q-tip, apply some to the area that you're going to apply the tape to your face, like your temple, and then you're going to apply a little bit to the tape itself as well. And then you want to let it dry for about 30 seconds, let it get tacky just like you would your eyelash glue, and then you want to place both tapes to the side of your face. Make sure that the glue is fully dried before you bring them to the back and snap the hooks together, otherwise it's just gonna pull right off. You want to be very careful whenever you're doing this as well, because the adhesive is very intense and you can rip off your skin. And I've worked with clients who are terrified to use face tapes because this has happened to them, so you also want to be really careful whenever you're removing these as well, which I'll get to in a second. But once you have the tapes fully dried, then you would go ahead and do the rest of your makeup application. And so whenever you're applying these tapes, they really only work if your hair is going to be down, because that's what's going to hide the tape. So if I were wearing these, my tape would be right here and you wouldn't see it because the fronts of my hair are hiding it, but it would just give a really nice and beautiful snatch from underneath like that, and it would hold all day. Whenever you're taking off the tape, you want to use something like this. It's called Bond Off from Benign, and you basically just get a little bit of this onto a Q-tip, then you almost just want to push that Q-tip or brush up underneath the tape, and just gently and very slowly begin to push that Q-tip up underneath the tape, and it'll help to remove the adhesive. You really want to take your time with this, because if you just rush through it and just try and rip off the tape, it is gonna rip your skin off. This is a very popular industry secret. People have been doing it for years, and it makes such a difference. There are definitely some downfalls that come from it, because this will stretch out your skin, and if you're doing this occasionally, it's not a big deal, but if you're doing it every single day, it's just gonna slowly stretch and stretch and stretch your skin, and your skin's gonna lose that elasticity right through there and cause your skin to droop more, and then you're gonna be required to pretty much use these every single day or get a true facelift or a brow lift or Botox or something like that. Next, let's talk about how different types of brushes give you different amounts of coverage. So there's a few different types of bristles whenever it comes to makeup brushes. There's synthetic and there's natural hair. This brush from Iconic London is synthetic and it's very dense. So with synthetic brushes, the application is gonna have more coverage. So the reason why it gives you more coverage is because synthetic brushes are less likely to trap in makeup. So pretty much any amount of product that you put on this brush, it's not gonna soak into the brush. It's literally all just gonna go straight on your face. And there's something about a brush that has more densely packed bristles, which is really gonna give you a high amount of coverage. And then they have stippling brushes like these, and the bristles are way less condensed. And this is gonna give you a way more natural and light amount of coverage. So I'm gonna show you guys a quick little example just so you can really see the difference. Okay, so I just put 2 drops of foundation on my hand, and I'm gonna blend one out with the stippling brush and then one out with the more dense brush. Okay, so you can't really tell on the camera that much, but you can really see the difference in person. This top one is is the one that I blended out with the more dense brush. And then this one down here is the one that I blended out with the stippling brush. It's very hard to tell on camera, but I feel like you can see it a little bit. This one definitely has more coverage, and then this one looks a little bit more sheer. And as you can see, there's even just a difference not only in the opacity of the product, but also just the finish. I feel like the synthetic brush just has more of a flawless and even finish versus the stippling brush. I feel like it just doesn't have quite as smooth of an application. For me, depending on what type of look I'm doing, that determines what type of brush that I'm gonna use. So if I'm doing more of a natural, no makeup look, I definitely go for more of a stippling brush or a natural hair brush. Then if I'm doing more of a beat, a full coverage look, I would definitely pick a denser brush. Let's talk body makeup. You guys have heard me talk about body makeup in so many different videos and how important I think it is in a makeup application. I'm just gonna go ahead and break down a few different body makeup products for you guys and what I recommend using each item for. Let's start off with True Body Makeup. This is the KKW and the Sally Hansen Airbrush Legs. I love both of these products. Obviously, you cannot get any KKW beauty products right now, which makes me so sad, but I'm pretty positive that she modeled her formula after the Sally Hansen Airbrush Legs. This has been around forever. This product is so good and it's a lot cheaper. Both of these products have really high coverage, so this is really great if you have cellulite, if your legs are really veiny, if you have a bruise, anything like that. It will completely cover it. I always call this Facetune in a bottle, and any of my clients that I've put onto body makeup, they literally cannot leave the house anymore without putting body makeup on their legs, on their arms, anything, because it makes such a difference. I also really love using these if you're wearing a swimsuit or a beach shoot or anything, because they cover up razor burn really well, and they're water resistant and pretty transfer proof, so you're not really gonna have to worry about any of these products coming off on clothes, or if you sit in a chair, your ass print's not gonna be left behind or anything like that. Sally Hansen also makes that same product in a spray bottle, which is really great, but this is very messy. Anytime I use this, I always get in the shower and spray it. That way it's a little bit easier to clean up in the shower, because if you spray this in a room, it's just gonna get on everything, but I really love this. Next up, I wanna talk about these products from Patrick Ta, and this is a body oil and a body balm, and these are really great for just giving you more of a glowy finish. These do not have any coverage to them, but they're just gonna make your skin look so glossy and juicy, and whenever the light hits like your collarbones or anything, it's just gonna look so glowy and hot. Another product that's kind of an in-between, it's a step up from the body oils and body balms, but it's also not gonna give you quite as much coverage as a True Body Makeup like the KKW or the Sally Hansen, is the Illuminating Body by About Face. These are really beautiful, and they come in several colors. So they have more bronzy tones like this one, if you can see, and then they also have ones that are like champagne colored or more of a purple tint. I really love these, but I will say these are not very transfer proof. I wore this at Coachella, and then I sat on a white chair, and you could see my entire ass once I got up from the chair. So if you're gonna use this one, I probably suggest using this on more of the chest or the shoulders, collarbones, anything like that, where you're not gonna be like touching things necessarily. You can apply any of these products with your hands, or you can use a kabuki brush like this one. I personally like to start off by applying it with my hands so I can really manipulate the product into the skin. There's gonna be a lot less waste, and then I'll go in with the kabuki brush at the end and just really buff over everything so that it looks more seamless, not streaky, there's no lines. The brush is also really great for smaller areas like the feet and the hands. Just make sure that it looks really seamless, because nothing is worse than spray tan hands. All right, lastly is a little hair secret, and this is actually a lot more common than you would expect. And there's two different types of products that you can use to do this. You can use either a root spray or a powder. I personally like to use a root powder just because I feel like it's a little bit more user-friendly and easy to use for someone that doesn't do hair like me. Girl, when it comes to hair, I cannot do anything. As you guys know, I go to Dry Bar once a week. This product is from the brand Color Wow, and it has this little root powder right here, and then it has a little brush that comes with it as well. And you just pick up a little bit of the product on the brush, and I really only do this if I'm wearing my hair up, especially if I'm wearing like a tight ponytail, anything like that, because I just have a lot of bald spots through here. So I'm gonna show you guys how I would apply this. I just dip my brush into a little bit of the product, and then I just lightly begin to fill in my hairline right through here. And you have to be kind of careful when doing this, because if you apply too much, sometimes it just makes your head look really weird. But this is great because it helps to achieve a little bit more fullness in your hair. And then it's almost like reverse contouring. So just as you would contour your face to make, you know, it look like you have a smaller forehead or more chiseled cheeks or anything like that, you can literally contour your hairline. So if you have a really large forehead, you could do this to your hairline, and then it would help to really minimize the appearance of your forehead without contour. This is something that I see hairstylists do all the time. I just want to show you guys the difference that this gives. So this side just looks more filled in, more voluminous, and then this side is balding over here. But if you're a little more braids than I am, or if you have a lot of gray hairs, this spray is really gonna help to conceal all of the grays. Or if you have hair extensions, this is another little trick that I learned just being around hairstylists all the time. When you place the extensions in, just spray a little bit of this onto the root where the extension meets your real hair. And this is really gonna help to cover up all of the tracks and just give more of a natural look. And that is the last tip that I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you guys try out any of the tips that I showed in this video, please tag me. I would love to see. And then also comment down below which secret were you the most blown away by in this video. Thank you again so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all of the things. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week.